Good morning. Believe it or not, our 13-year, 2,300-day prison sentence is over, and we are about to be set free. In those 2,000 days, we've learned hundreds of lessons, in and out of the classroom. One important lesson that we have been taught is to avoid being judgmental. The warning is everywhere. Don't judge a book by its cover. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. But for some reason, the message isn't getting through. One of the easiest and most human of things to do is be judgmental. As I am speaking, you are judging me, by my words, by my appearance, and by my behavior. While most of us try not to be critical of others, it is something that we do naturally, against our will. This is not a bad thing. It may even be necessary. We use judgment, or we should, to determine if a situation or person is safe. We tend to judge when we are afraid, threatened, jealous, disappointed, or unsure. While we cannot control how others see us, we can control how we are affected by their judgments. It is easier to put up barriers until we gain familiarity. It is a defensive technique and can protect you from bad people and situations. While it is important to avoid judging out of arrogance, it is unlikely to find someone who never judges at all. You need to expect others to judge you and be ready to forgive. It's an especially easy thing to do when we have expectations about how someone should be. When meeting new people, we hope they will like us the way we are and ignore anything they find unsatisfactory. Yes, we will meet people like that. But what we need to realize is that most people will have an untrue first impression that will change over time. At first, they will be afraid and unsure, and so will you. Several years ago, I met one of my closest friends. Before I met her, I had many expectations about what she was going to be like. When she wasn't what I expected, I made some extreme and untrue judgments. I had an idea in my head about how it was going to be, and I was scared because it was something I did not expect. My judging was unreasonable, and now I can't imagine my life without her. You can't expect everything to go your way, and you can't view a first impression as the only impression. Because if you do that, you are closing yourself off from many possibilities. We don't know what it's like to be in another person's shoes, so while we want to be critical of them, we have no right to be. It is definitely easier to look no further than a first impression, but if we give someone a little time, they might surprise us. Being in such a small graduating class has really been a blessing. We have had the opportunity to get to know everyone and reach that point of familiarity where labels disappear. We don't have to know someone just as the jock or the thespian. We have had the opportunity to get to know each other in a way that makes superficial stereotypes unnecessary. It is definitely a unique opportunity that we won't find in many other places. While we tend to judge each other, another thing that we are too quick to judge is a situation. As humans, we like to decide if a moment is good or bad, important or unimportant in that moment, without thinking about anything else. As one of my favorite quotes says, life is not a snapshot. It might take a little time, but you'll see the bigger picture. It's from the song Before the Morning by Josh Wilson. The song is about how the bad times seem very dark, but the metaphorical morning is coming, and things will get better. Whether we're in a bad time or a good time, the lesson is important. Maybe it's hard for us to think about the bigger picture, because we can't see it. It takes a faith that this moment will make sense one day, and all you have to do is live it. In time, understanding will come. Something that seems to have life or death importance at a moment may have no significance later in life. I am speaking from experience. Several months ago, Mr. Hastings addressed our class. One thing he said really stuck with me. To paraphrase, he said that our class had started something that we won't see the end of. We are just a catalyst, and we don't know what we've started. We don't know what we've accomplished, but in time we'll see the bigger picture, and it will all make sense. One of the most dangerous judgments you can make is of yourself. That has been my biggest obstacle so far. I always thought that the Eleanor Roosevelt quote, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent," was ridiculous, because I didn't think I ever consented to being bullied. While I'm still young now, I can see how I was consenting by just believing their criticisms. I didn't give them verbal permission, but I took their judgments and made them my own. So even when their voices stopped, the voice in my head continued. I ended up being my biggest critic and had trouble seeing anything I did as right. The judgments hurt me because I didn't stand up for myself, physically or mentally. You don't have to say anything. You just need to remember that you have the final say on who you are, and no one can change that. There's a quote by John Wooden that says, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation. Because your reputation is merely because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are." It is no secret that I talk a lot, and very quickly. And if that was a secret, it isn't anymore. Recently, it became clear to me that one reputation I have received is the girl who talks a lot. For a long time, I resented that reputation, but now I see that that is who I am. No matter what anyone thinks about it, it does not affect my character. It only affects my reputation. Those judgments can't hurt me, because what really matters in life is what you think of yourself, not what others tell you to think. There will always be someone eager to tell you their opinion, but as long as you focus on what you want, then you will be fine. In my opinion, one thing that makes Mount Everett great is our school spirit. I don't mean rah-rah, blue and gold spirit, because I know many of us lack in that department. What I mean is a genuine pride in our school and our achievements. Even when someone tells us that we aren't good at things, that we are too small to be successful, we still like ourselves. There will always be contrary opinions, but if we continue to be proud of ourselves, then we are winning. Our reputation may be tainted by views from the outside, but those of us on the inside know that it is our character, not our reputation, that makes or breaks us. Mount Everett had a part in shaping each one of us, and I hope you never forget that. Many times in life, nothing will make sense. You will be stuck in situations where you wonder if your life has any meaning. We don't understand everything, so there is no way to make a concrete judgment about someone or something unless you are doing so once you see the bigger picture. Then what should you do? You should make plans for the future, but understand that they will change. Set standards for yourself, but understand that you may be your toughest critic. Know that judgments come and go, but are not the final impression. I promise, people will judge you. However, as long as you know who you are, those judgments are harmless. You need to have a faith in yourself and avoid people who want to change you. This is much easier said than done. Don't change because someone expects you to, but because it's what you want. If you feel good, you will have the confidence to be successful without a fear of failure. What I want you to leave here with today is the acceptance that what you are thinking at this moment might not be true or right, but it's how you feel right now. That person you thought was weird in 9th grade might end up being your best friend. And the relationship you have with the person sitting next to you might be completely different in 20 years. Of all the people we meet and all the days that we live, we don't know which ones will really change us for good. So don't ruin your chances at a great friendship or a happy life by being fervently set in your initial judgments. Things are constantly changing, and we have no control over any of it but our own thoughts. No matter what, be proud of yourself, and know that no one knows you like you do. Let life happen, do your best, then sit back, enjoy yourself, and watch the picture come together. Congratulations, class of 2013. I wish you luck in the future.